Let's go ahead and dive into the first name I want to talk about today, and this is on the football side. We're going to start off with football. But it's Grayson Barnes, a tight end from Northern Illinois that West Virginia got a commitment from this morning as I do this show on Saturday morning, April 19th. Grayson Barnes is a 6'5", 225-pound tight end from Northern Illinois. He has 1 year of eligibility remaining. He's been at Northern Illinois for 2 years. He also played a couple years at the JUCO level, but because of the new Diego Pavia rule, where the NCAA is saying that, basically saying that, 1 year JUCO doesn't count, he's able to play one more year, and he's decided to do that at the Power 4 level, and he's decided to do that for the West Virginia Mountaineers. When you look at Grayson Barnes, over his 2 years at Northern Illinois, I'm not really going to look at his JUCO stats, but his Northern Illinois stats, he's caught 54 passes for 760 yards and 9 touchdowns. He is a good wide receiving tight end, and that's something the Mountaineers needed because, Cole Taylor graduated. They lost Jack Samarco, who was kind of expected to maybe be the next guy to step up and take that role. He has hit the transfer portal. They brought a tight end in from Iowa. He's hit the transfer portal. Jackson Aquardi, another guy they brought in to be a tight end under Neil Brown. He's hit the transfer portal. So they needed a tight end. They went from having 7 or 8 tight ends on the roster to now they're down, I think, to 3. And most of those, though, are expected to be blocking tight ends. Well, they bring in Grayson Barnes, who can absolutely flat out catch the football. When you look at his overall grades from Pro Football Focus, I took a look at those, and it shows that that's his specialty. His receiving grade in 2024 was 63.1 at Northern Illinois, whereas his run blocking grade was only 42.1. So he struggled a little bit in the run blocking side. But, again, I don't think that's what he's being brought here to do, at least primarily. I do think he'll be expected to block. Don't get me wrong. When you're a tight end, you better be able to block. But I think he's going to be a pass catcher. I'm going to play a highlight for you here. Some of you may have already seen this. This is a YouTube channel called Bryson. But when you look at this right here, check out this highlight.
Holst taking a shot, miscommunication. How'd he do it? Impossible! Grayson Barnes took what should have been one-on-one opportunity with the safety over the top. Josh Holst puts it to where only Grayson Barnes can get it. Jaden Davis underneath him. Dean Clark thinking, I got an easy interception. But Thomas Hammock said his walk-on court.
So that shows you his ability right there. Obviously, that's just one play, but that does show you his ability to catch the football and why West Virginia wanted to bring him in to be a tight end for the Mountaineer program. Now, when you look at his 2023 PFF grades, they're actually a little better than 2024. When you look at his 2023 grades, he had a 67.7 overall offensive grade, a 70.6 receiving grade in 2023. So he actually had a better receiving grade in 23 than he did 24. 68.6 drop grade, and then a 71.3 fumble grade. And his run blocking grade was, see if I can find it here. Let's see. It's not showing for some reason. Yeah, anyway, his run blocking, I'm looking at his receiving grades. No wonder. Let me go back and look at his run blocking grades. His run blocking grades from 2023. Yeah, he had a 51.8 run blocking grade. So better run blocking grade, still below average, but a little bit better in 2023 than 2024. But he plays a lot more snaps in passing situations than he does run blocking situations. And again, when you look at his ability to catch the football, I'd say that's what he's being brought in to do, is to be a pass catcher. I'm really excited about this pickup. Will he come in and be a day one starter? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But what it does is gives you more depth in that room, gives you another body in that room, and give you somebody to compete to be that number one tight end, that number one receiving tight end that this staff needs and wants. They've got Jacob Bowie, the transfer from Jacksonville State, but he's primarily a run blocker. They have Greg General still on the roster, who Neil Brown brought in, a year ago. He's still on the roster. But again, I think he's known also more of a run blocker. But now General does have the ability to catch the football, but he needed some competition. And I think Grayson Barnes will give him that. So that's pickup number one. I like it. It's a position of need that the West Virginia Mountaineers needed to fill. I expect they'll probably bring in at least one more tight end, if not two more tight ends, to get more bodies in that room. All right, let's go ahead and go over to the next name I want to talk about. That's Nick Taylor. Nick Taylor's a cornerback that the Mountaineers are bringing in from Appalachian State. He's 6'1", 185 pounds, has 3 years of eligibility. He played at Appalachian State as a freshman last year, but didn't play a ton of games. I think he played in 7 games. He played about 147 snaps total. He played 83 of those in pass coverage and 64 of those in run defense. His overall defensive grade was 57.2. His run defense grade was a 72.8. His tackle grade, 82.7, so he's a good tackler. His coverage grade, not too good, 54. And he did on eight targets. His guy was targeted 8 times last year. And he gave up his guy was targeted 14 times last year, and he gave up 11 receptions. So that's not a great percentage. I'd like to see that get better. But again, he was only a freshman, so he's going to get better. He's going to develop. Now, we've been seeing Coach Rod and staff bring in a lot of older guys. This is a younger guy they're bringing in. They can develop. And he also has some familiarity with defensive backs or with cornerbacks, Coach Rod West. He played for Coach Rod West at Appalachian State. I think, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's the 3rd former Appalachian State player to come to WVU to follow Coach Rod West. So there will be some familiarity there, which is good. He'll be familiar with the terminology and how Rod West does things. He did have 10 tackles a year ago, or last season, I should say, to go along with 1 pass defended. Again, you'd like to see him improve on his coverage grade, but, as a freshman, I'm not going to worry too much about that. And the fact he only played 83 coverage snaps all year. So he will get better, and I do trust Coach Rod and his staff. I like the fact that he's long. He's 6'1", has some length, gives you some size at the cornerback spot. And I trust Coach Rod and his staff's ability to evaluate talent. I don't expect him to come in and start. He'll be a depth piece. I expect him to come in and be a depth piece, but you have to have bodies in the cornerback room. And they have lost some guys. Jacoby Spells hit the portal. They've lost some other guys at that spot as well, some freshmen. Nick Taylor gives you a guy who not only has some talent, some length, some familiarity with the current coach, but he gives you somebody that you can develop in 2 to 3 years. And by the time he's a junior or senior, might even be able to be a starter for this program. So I like the pickup for Coach Rod and his staff. The next player we're going to talk about is remaining on the football side. Is one that they actually got a commitment from a few days ago. I just hadn't done a video on yet because I wanted to kind of combine them all into one. But you've got, I don't know if he pronounces his name Mickel or Mickel, but anyway, it's Mickel Clay. He's an offensive tackle transfer from Northern Alabama, 6'5", 278 pounds, has 1 year of eligibility remaining. Now, a very quick, short article that was done over on my website, WVSportsChat.com, by RJ Rice over there. I'm going to share that with you, and we'll read through that together. It says, WVU grabs North Alabama offensive lineman in portal. The Mountaineers added another offensive lineman to the roster via the transfer portal today. Former North Alabama offensive lineman Mickel Clay announced his commitment to the Mountaineers this afternoon. Clay played 12 games at the FCS level for the Lions and had multiple starts at right tackle. He will help West Virginia with much-needed offensive line depth, and that is, another area of need, just like the other positions. They need depth at that spot. Clay was ranked as the 85th best transfer tackle in the transfer portal, according to 24/7's portal rankings, and had visits with Iowa State and Mississippi State. And based on what I was reading on the message boards and whatnot, most people expected him to land at Mississippi State. However, West Virginia was able to get the commitment from this young man and get him from that SEC program, so that's good. It says West Virginia will continue to scout out talent in the portal to rebuild the roster for Rich Rodriguez's first season back in Morgantown. So, again, you got a big body, someone who has a ton of experience at right tackle. And I expect that that's probably where he'll play for the Mountaineers as well. When you look at his PFF grades, I pulled those up for him as well, because they do show you FCS players. He played a ton of snaps, over 700, almost 800, 792 snaps at right tackle for North Alabama this year. Pretty impressive. He had 452 pass blocking snaps, 340 run blocking snaps, an overall offensive grade of a 77, overall pass blocking grade of 73, and overall run blocking grade of 74. So he graded out well in both pass blocking and run blocking. So he gives you balance there. I'm sure he has a weakness. All players do, and I haven't looked at him on tape to give my opinion as far as what I see on tape. But looking strictly at his grades, he grades out pretty evenly in run blocking and pass blocking. When you look at his season grades, he didn't play as many snaps in 2023. Played only only 320 snaps. He graded out a 64.2 overall, 63 in pass blocking, and 61.4 in run blocking. So he improved from 2023 to 2024 in both pass blocking and run blocking, and that's what you like to see. Now he's trying his hand at a higher level, coming in to try his hand at a P4 school. Now, again, will he come in and be a day one starter? I'm not expecting that, but you have to have bodies at the offensive line because of injury. Guys get tired, and you need practice bodies, right? And you need guys who can play, and this guy's experienced. He's a grown man. His body's developed. He's going to be able to come in, and he's likely going to be able to handle the physicality of the moment. It's not going to be too physical for him, I don't think. He'll have to adjust a little bit to the speed of the P4 level and the size of the guys he's going against, because I'm sure he wasn't going against guys at the FCS level who are going to be quite as big and strong as what he's going to face. But again, he has summer and fall camp to prepare for what he's going to be facing. He can get in the weight room, get in a P4 weight room, improve there. So I like the pickup. It's not a splashy name, not a flashy name, not somebody that you can expect to come in and be a day one starter, but it's depth, and this roster needs depth. I think a lot of the moves you're going to see this staff make from here on out, with a few exceptions, are going to be depth pieces. I think they have a lot of their starters probably already on the roster from the last portal window, and of course some returning guys as well. But they're going to need depth pieces at most of these positions, and that's what they're going out and getting. Let's go ahead and jump into the comments, and then, first thing I'm going to do is give a shout out to my other channel sponsor, real quick, the fine folks over at Appalachian Digital. I want to thank them for supporting what I'm doing here on the channel. They are the ones who designed my brand new website, the one I just read the article from, WVSportsChat.com. They are the designers of that site. They did a fantastic job over there. I really am happy with their work. If you need somebody to build you a brand new website, if you're a small business owner or thinking about becoming one, or you just want a website for blogging or whatever, go check them out. AppalachianDigital.com/Couz. It lets them know that I sent you. And you can check them out, hit them up, let them design your site. Or if you already have a site and you want your site to get found more on Google, help with SEO and those types of things, they can do that too. So hit them up, AppalachianDigital.com. You see their logo there in the corner of the screen right here. Go check them out. And again, thanks to them for helping support me here on the show, and over at Hoops from the Heels as well.